Touching down, but not on a tarmac. Hear from the teen pilot who had to make an emergency landing on Route 66. Witnessing one of the wonders of nature, the cool surprise for some whale watchers off the SoCal coast. You're watching The Rundown. I'm Michelle Vias, and for Robin Winston. More on those stories in just a moment. But first, we've learned the funeral for the Riverside County Sheriff's deputy killed during a traffic stop will be held on Friday. Deputy Isaiah Cordero was shot and killed by a career criminal in Jurupa Valley last week. Cordero had been with the Sheriff's Department since 2014. The funeral for the 32-year-old will take place at Harvest Christian Fellowship Church in Riverside. It will not be open to the public. There was a moving tribute to Deputy Isaiah Cordero during the Rose Parade. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department mounted enforcement detail walked along the 5-mile parade route with a riderless horse in honor of Cordero. Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco said his family was watching this tribute on TV. A scary moment during Monday Night Football. Buffalo Bills player Hamlin collapsed during the game against the Cincinnati Bengals after suffering a cardiac arrest. The 24-year-old safety is now in critical condition. Hamlin collapsed after making a tackle in the first quarter. Medical staff rushed out onto the field and performed CPR on him for several minutes, while emotional players and coaches knelt in prayer. We're told by the Bills Hamlin's heartbeat was restored on the field. He was taken away in an ambulance and is sedated at the hospital.
I feel like a lot of people at the stadium were in shell shock initially. We see this all the time. The player's going to be okay. The game will resume. But I think it's setting in for a lot of people now.
The NFL ultimately took the rare step to postpone the game. No word on when or if it will be rescheduled. And the Buffalo Bills tweeted this emotional image with 2 heart emojis. It's a photo of the players huddled together on the field. That image is surrounded by messages and well wishes from teams and athletes. Folks in Southern California mountains are seeing some snow. This is video of what it looked like Monday night along a very icy Highway 18 in Big Bear Lake. Dozens of vehicles were stopped on the road trying to put chains on. Chains are required on Highway 18 unless you have 4-wheel drive and snow tires. We're going to have more rain and snow on the way. Let's get a check of the forecast with meteorologist Stephanie Olmo.
Hello, everyone. We're tracking some more wet weather, especially as we take you into midweek, Wednesday into Thursday. We are keeping track of this next storm system swinging right on through. Out ahead of it, we have a cold front sliding in late Wednesday into Thursday. This is expected to bring some moderate to heavy rainfall. Flooding will be a concern. Of course, we'll continue to keep you updated with any weather alerts that get posted. We'll likely see some more activity throughout the course of the day on Thursday, then catching a break briefly on Friday with more chances as we head into the weekend. So checking out the chance of rain for Los Angeles, certainly going to see it Wednesday into Thursday, and then quieter conditions on Friday with chances returning as we head into the weekend. We can expect 1 to 3 inches for the coast in the valleys. Definitely want to take it easy out there. Grab the wet gear. Back to you.
We're learning more about the snowplow accident that seriously injured actor Jeremy Renner. The actor's representative says he suffered blunt chest trauma and orthopedic injuries while operating the plow in the Lake Tahoe area Sunday morning. Renner underwent surgery Monday, and he remains listed in critical but stable condition. Investigators are trying to figure out what forced the team pilot of a small plane to make an emergency landing on historic Route 66 in San Bernardino County. It happened Monday morning near the Cajon Pass. 18-year-old Brock Peters tells us he was flying from Apple Valley to Riverside. The plane experienced some sort of problem, and Peters was able to safely land on Cajon Boulevard. 4 people were on board, including the pilot's grandma. Peters called the emergency landing on the small road a learning experience.
Just remembered all my training from all my instructors. I think everybody was, a little shocked. I know my grandma was, crying, but I'm like, I got to tune her out, land the plane, and deal with this. New year, first flight for the other year, and this is what happens.
Hey, it's okay. Everyone was okay. A new session of Congress is now underway in D.C. Republicans are back in control of the House for the first time since 2018, but there's uncertainty over who will be the next speaker. Bakersfield Republican Kevin McCarthy won the party's nomination for the job in November, but now more than a dozen far-right Republicans are preparing to oppose him.
He's part of the problem. He's not part of the solution. I suspect 10 to 15 members will vote against him on the first ballot.
It's unclear what, if anything, at this point he can do to secure the votes to actually appease these members of his conference.
McCarthy has the support of former President Trump and several high-profile House conservatives, and his allies are urging the party to unite around him. We're now learning that the family who received Bruce's Beach from LA County may be getting ready to sell the waterfront property back to LA County. Last year, the land was deeded back to the heirs of the Bruce family with much fanfare. Bruce's Beach once was a thriving resort for Black residents. Well, nearly a century ago, the Manhattan Beach City Council used eminent domain to seize the property from Charles and Willa Bruce. Award season is in full swing in Hollywood with the Golden Globes happening next week. But ahead of that event, a new study shows that women haven't made the progress in Hollywood that one might think. Despite female-directed films like The Woman King and She Said, the USC study reveals only 9% of the top 100 grossing movies last year were directed by women. That's a nearly 4% drop from 2021. This year's Golden Globe nominees for Best Director are all men. There's still some hope that a couple of female directors may make the list when the Oscar nominations come out. But critics say the system is still stacked against women.
Some of the best films of this year are directed by women, but they're not getting box office exposure. The studios don't see commercial prospects in them to the same degree as something like an Avatar or a Top Gun.
A similar San Diego State study shows that less than a quarter of the people behind the camera are women. Some people got the chance to see the majestic Rose Parade floats up close and personal at Float Fest. Floats were on display at Sierra Madre and Washington Boulevard at the end of the parade route. Float Fest allows fans of the Rose Parade to take a closer look at the details of each float and understand why it takes months of planning and weeks of designing to add all of the natural materials.
Easier to see, but also to get up close to the amazing floats that they put on here. You know, the detail that goes into these is incredible.
We hear this all the time. I had no idea how much more detail there is than you can see on TV.
An estimated 150,000 people attended the Rose Parade on Monday. The Rolling Stone magazine is ruffling some feathers with its latest 200 best singers list. Apparently, it left out one of the most well-known singers in the world, and fans are really upset. Celine Dion fans are struggling to go on now after the 200 best singers of all time list didn't include the award-winning vocalist. But it did include other major names like Paul McCartney, Prince, Beyonce, and Mariah Carey. The author of the Rolling Stone article defended the decision, saying this is the greatest singers list, not the greatest voices list, whatever that means. Well, whale watchers in Dana Point got a once-in-a-life opportunity to see a baby whale being brought into the world. A migrating gray whale gave birth right before their eyes.
All right, everybody, we just this mother whale give birth. There is a mother whale and a brand new baby. So
How magical is this? Tourists on Captain Dave's dolphin and whale watching safari first spotted the big whale moving around before a newborn calf came up to the surface there. You could see the mama and baby whales swimming around together and bonding. You can always get news and weather updates on the NBCLA app and on our website, NBCLA.com. See you next time on The Rundown.